We all know someone who can map out a brilliant 5-year plan in a single afternoon. They see the future clearly, but somehow, in the end, nothing ever actually changes. The life they describe is vibrant and wildly successful, yet the life they actually live, day in and day out, remains completely static. The usual explanation is simple. Society writes it off as laziness or a lack of drive. But that label misses what is actually happening. These people aren't idle. Their brains are running in absolute overdrive, generating massive amounts of cognitive friction that you simply cannot see from the outside. To understand why highly ambitious minds fail to launch, we need to look at this diagram, mapping the exact lifespan of a dead goal. If we trace an idea from its initial conception, we can spot the precise moment the brain pulls the kill switch. This chart zooms in on the very first stage of our timeline, conception. We are plotting perceived progress against time. This is the birth of the dream, where the idea is fresh and the possibilities feel endless. Just imagining success triggers a biological trick. The brain releases a hit of satisfaction, mimicking the exact feeling of actual accomplishment. People get hooked on this feeling. Talking about a massive goal becomes a highly stimulating substitute for doing the work, because out in the physical world, real progress is slow, repetitive, and deeply uncomfortable. It cannot compete with the effortless emotional high of daydreaming. By experiencing the reward before putting in the effort, the brain checks the progress box early. The urgency to act vanishes, neutralized entirely by the safe illusion of success. Moving forward on our diagram, we enter the planning phase. We're now tracking a new metric, cognitive energy, starting at a full 100%. This is where abstract ideas are supposed to translate into physical steps. Instead, the visionary falls into the first major trap of this phase, weaponized overthinking. Every possible outcome, every hypothetical obstacle, and every potential failure scenario is analyzed to death. This endless mental simulation drains a person's cognitive reserves. By the time they actually need to physically move, they already feel exhausted, despite doing nothing. Then comes the second trap, the false belief in the right moment. There is a pervasive idea that you need to feel ready before taking the first step, so they wait for ideal conditions that never arrive. In this second phase, constant analysis masks avoidance as productivity. The mind uses the illusion of preparation to delay real work indefinitely. Finally, our timeline reaches a hard stop at this vertical barrier, the execution threshold. This is where planning ends and physical reality must begin. It is also where the fear of failure exerts its maximum force. As long as a brilliant plan stays in your head, it remains flawless. Taking action exposes that perfect dream to the reality that it might not work. But beneath that fear is an even deeper psychological block, identity misalignment. If a person views themselves as undisciplined or as someone who always quits, their brain will actively reject physical action that contradicts that internal narrative. At this final edge, the goal dies of starvation. The mind cuts off all action to protect the ego, preferring to maintain a stagnant, familiar identity rather than risk becoming someone new. When you zoom out, the pattern is obvious. The human brain is engineered to seek out safe, comfortable illusions and avoid the highly uncomfortable friction of change. To break the cycle, we have to look at this causal loop diagram and flip our understanding of motivation. Notice how the path flows. Psychological readiness is the result of taking action. It is not a prerequisite. If you sit around waiting for a sudden burst of superhuman motivation to strike before you begin, the math is simple. The right time will never come. Turning an idea into reality does not require a rare innate talent or waiting for the stars to align. The ultimate separator between dreaming and doing is entirely mechanical. It is the unglamorous ability to take the very first step, exactly when your own mind is fighting its hardest to stop you.